Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and we try to separate an aspect of that race that we might look back on later as having been the path to finding the winner. Well, Group 1 racing on Sunday at Sha Tin, and there'll be plenty of information on the Jockey Club website where you can get interviews and information about the Group 1s. I'm going to look at a couple of the support races late in the day. The first of those is race 9, and our winning factor here, up in class, off a win. Now, I don't think we have to look too far in this race to identify the likely winner. One of them, Lockheed, he's been knocking on the door in recent starts, and he is certainly close to a win. And then there's Wellington, an ultra impressive debut winner. And he's certainly one of the most interesting horses on the card on Sunday, Wellington, without being in a big race. So let's take a look at what they've been doing. And first of all, Lockheed. He's a 21 start maiden in Hong Kong. And here's his latest run, race 347. And this is one of first four finishes at his most recent starts. He's certainly knocking on the door, Lockheed. And you see him here, he gets a run behind the speed here. The race won by Valiant Dream. And here he is in the dark blue, greyish sort of colours. He looms up like he's going to be the winner in the straight. Just doesn't quite make it in a bunched tight finish. Then 8 days later, we saw the Richard Gibson trained Wellington make his racecourse debut in Class 4, and this was super impressive. Now we have a look at this race, and you'll note on the heat map, only fairly steady in the first 800 metres here, the early stages, but Wellington turns into the straight. He's there in the red, blue and yellow colours, and Alexi Bedell has got a lap full of horse. He's looming up to the leaders, and when Alexi says go, he sprints very quickly and puts the race away in great style. So I think when punters have a look at those two videos, it's going to be almost unanimous. They'll say, yes, I like the second one. Wellington with a 100% win strike rate at this part of his career, and Lockheed so far in Hong Kong a 0% strike rate, so there's that as well. But I thought it was interesting to take a look at what happens with these horses. Often the view is that a horse having his first start in a race in Class 4 has a relatively easy task if he's got any talent. And then the handicapper has a say in between. He's already had the race experience and goes up in the handicaps, and in this case up to Class 3. So what happens with these relatively new horses? On this graphic here you can see that it's actually something pretty good. I've talked many times about being up in class off a win as a generally good play in Hong Kong racing. They win about 19% of the time, as opposed to horses that stay in the same grade and win about 13% of the time. But you can see here, when it's a horse that's only had the one start and then goes up in grade, it's pretty outstanding, the strike rate at almost 1 out of every 2 winning. Overall, in the last 5.5 seasons, 76 debut winners in Class 4, 27 of them winning their next start, and as you can see, a very high strike rate for those heading up in class as well. And that's what happens with Wellington on Sunday, and I think probably our best chance to get any sort of a decent price about him is a difficult map. Let's take a look at the map, and from gate 10 he found a nice place to race on debut, but now he has to try and do the same from gate 13. The best part, or the least worrisome part of this map anyway, is that there looks some speed inside him, and if Bedell can get a position wide with some cover, trailing the pace, I think that will be enough for Wellington. So the tip in race 9, Wellington, his winning factor, up in class, off a win. Obviously the draw is a little bit of a concern with Wellington. That is something Alexi Bedell's going to have to look after, but what is not a concern is the outstanding strike rate of these debut winners when they step out the second time, especially if they go up in grade. The other race we're going to look at is the only one left after race 9, I guess, race 10, and the winning factor here is the map. Now I think we can reduce this field down to the top 3 jockeys in town on what I think are the strongest 3 chances. Star Performance coming back from the Classic Mile with Zach Purton aboard. Uncle Steve for Sha Tin and the Douglas White team, and Joe Moreira on Happy Fun. Looking more closely at those three, Star Performance has yet to win this season in Hong Kong, so I'm going to lean to the other two a little bit ahead of him, and we're going to take a look at what they've been up to. And first of all, Uncle Steve. Now, he's only had the one run this season, that was back in October, and this of course was his first start for Douglas White. He gets an easy trip here under Alberto Sanna in the blue and white colours, handy off the pace, and he gets away, wins comfortably, and there was extra merit to this because the next day he was found to have a quarter crack in his right front foot, so extra merit there for that win. That foot has been a little bit of an issue for him since. He failed a vet test later in October, and as a result we haven't seen him since. That's 4 months without a race, but Douglas White has given him a couple of trials to get him ready for Sunday. Now, Happy Fun, we're also going to go back to October to have a first look at him. Now, this is 4 starts ago, and here he is in those yellow, orange and white colours, and this time he runs second to Precious Ship. Now, certainly Precious Ship has made that form look pretty good. It looks even better when you consider that Happy Fun gave £10 in the weights to the winner on this occasion. He then didn't have a lot of luck in a couple of races, but the race I really want to highlight with a view to Sunday's race is Happy Fun's most recent start. And I want to highlight here the heat map as well. This is race 313, and here he's run down late by Beauty Legacy, certainly an eye-catching performance by the winner. But what I want to point out from Happy Fun's point of view is the pressure on the heat map you see here from the 1200 metres to the 800 metres, when he was in a race with a 100 to 1 chance Telecom Puma for the lead, and that really left him softened up and vulnerable late in the race when Beauty Legacy came along. Now, perhaps Beauty Legacy would have been too good in any case, even had Grant van Niekerk not been quite as aggressive on Happy Fun. That's something that we'll never know, but it certainly didn't help Happy Fun. It was his first run for 6 weeks, and that pressure softened him up for the winner. And I don't think that's going to happen on Sunday. When we take a look at the map for this race, and there really isn't a lot of speed in the race, and it looks the key to winning the event. Moreira takes over, and he should be able to go straight to the front on Happy Fun and dictate the race. Now, the problem with an obvious setup like that sometimes is that everyone else can see it too, and they adjust their tactics to compensate. But as we saw in that race with Precious Ship, this horse doesn't have to lead. If there is pressure coming from somewhere, Moreira does have the option of taking a trail. So the tip in race 10, Happy Fun. His winning factor, the map. The setup here looks particularly kind to Happy Fun. He's in great form, and he should be back in the winner's circle. Well, that's it from the winning factor this week. Good luck on Sunday. Enjoy those Group 1s, and we'll see you next time.